Uh, it's uh, it's days like today that make me love my job. Um, I received a text late last night from my sister-in-law, and she had broken her website. I think I was asleep, so I didn't get the text. But then I woke up this morning and I had three emails from her about WordPress, and it's funny because I think she thinks she's alone in the frustration of breaking your website and doing the wrong thing. And I don't really think she did anything as wrong as she might think she did. But it reminds me of this whole process and why I love doing this. If you guys haven't seen this before, this is IT Life. This is the vlog that I dedicate to my patrons. And I cover everything from what I deal with on a daily basis in IT to answering your questions if you're a patron. And if you're not a patron yet, you guys need to become one. Check that out in the link below. Seriously, check it out. But today's crisis, she sent a message. She goes, I done screwed myself. I was being frisky and got the blasted WordPress theme before getting your approval. I know you are so busy I was trying to avoid bothering you. And now I'm not even sure if it supports galleries. I tried to do it on my own and failed miserably. I had a parent theme, Genesis, and then a child theme, Modern Portfolio. I can't even get a child theme to load right. It says the parent theme has to be loaded first, and it is, and I can activate it and everything, but the child theme is being a butthole. I put in a ticket to get the tech guy's help. Once I figured out, I'm afraid that when I figure it out, I'm going to cry my eyes out because it doesn't have options for galleries. Ugh, I tried. Probably waste of money. GRRRR, profanity, GRRRR, profanity, GRRRR, profanity. Okay, so I pulled up her site this morning, and she accidentally broke her homepage. Pretty common on WordPress. I do it all the time. And let me pull the site up for you guys. She has an awesome website. And the big thing about, let's see, what screen do I want to pull up? I want to pull up this one. The big thing about her website is that it's photography. And this is a really cool site, but when she pulls it up, it was pulling up a blog post. But it's not uncommon when you're in the process of working with WordPress that you have to go in and change a lot of settings. And before you get started on a new WordPress theme, you always want to make sure that you're actually reading the manual associated with it. Now, her confusion obviously came in with the child theme, and there's two themes that a lot of themes come with now. So if I go to theme options here on her dashboard, I can show you guys kind of, not the theme options, I'm sorry. If I go to appearance and themes, I can kind of show you guys what kind of goes on behind the scenes here. And notice that it gave her the Genesis framework, which is a theme, and then it gives her a child theme, which it looks like she didn't keep on there. She must have deleted it. But the reason they do child themes is it keeps your machine from basically any changes you make to the theme, like the style sheets of the theme and the look of it, doesn't affect the core theme. And this is a way of protecting the core theme from modifications that can actually damage it for updates and things like that. So child themes are pretty common. But you guys got to make sure that if you're going to do WordPress, Brooke too, you have to make sure if you're going to do WordPress, you got to read your documentation before you actually go in and install the theme. And all decent themes come with good documentation. She obviously bought it from Genesis because it's a Genesis framework. So the framework's definitely there. And I'm going to have to work with her on pulling up her documentation and making sure she installs it. But in the meantime, she accidentally broke her homepage. Now, a lot of these sites do it differently, but if you want to see how your WordPress site is showing your homepage, usually you want to go to Settings and then Reading first. And in the Reading tab, they will actually show you what your front page is. And if both of them are set to select, it's going to be whatever the default is for the theme. And hers was set to homepage. So I knew that this page was her homepage. So then I went up to Pages, and I went to All Pages, and then I went to the homepage that she had on here, which is right here, and I click Edit. And the problem she had was she didn't realize that her theme, she put this nice little, I apologize, I broke my site. I've done that too, by the way. But she didn't realize that on the right-hand side here that this particular theme, the documentation will tell you is it's got different templates depending on how you want to display your page. and it was set to default, which is a blog post. So if I set that to default and do preview changes, you'll notice that it pops up with a blog post. Actually, it doesn't even look like it applied it on that case. But it did. It actually showed up with a blog post. And she wanted the full screen with no page. And then when I changed it to that, then you go to her home page, and it does what she originally wanted it to do. So it's not that uncommon to do things like that. And I'm obviously going to be talking with her about getting her theme up and going. It's not that uncommon, but dealing with crises is kind of part of the job. If you're not used to it already, get used to it. People will break stuff. You will break stuff. And it's just good to kind of keep a level head and make sure that you're approaching it from a from a standpoint of patience. You got to have patience with it. You don't want to keep doing too many things at once, because then once you start to make a lot of changes at once to fix something, odds are you're going to break something else on accident. So make sure you really sit down and evaluate the situation, get the documentation, take the time to really learn how certain things work, because the truth is everything works in technology, even this is across the board. Everything works very specifically, and if you don't take the time to learn the intricacies of whatever it is that you're using, you're going to skip a lot of steps that are usually essential in the entire process. So I would encourage anybody who's out there, and I'm guilty of it too, so don't think that I'm not, to really take the time to properly learn what it is you're trying to deal with, and keep a level head throughout the process, which isn't as easy if people are like freaking out, right? If they're kicking or screaming or whatever. But in her case, she was hilarious, so I definitely wanted to help her immediately. So that's always a good part of it. But have you guys dealt with any crises in your job? I'd be curious. But usually when you do, you have to learn how to basically tell people, okay, this is the process that it's going to take. This is how long it's going to take, and this is just part of the deal. And if if they complain and get frustrated or whatever, you say, okay, well, if you know somebody who can do it your way, or somebody who can do it better, ask them to do it. But this is the way it has to be done. This is how it's done. And that's real common in the business world. A lot of people don't understand the process. I get that a lot. They think, oh, well, you're just sitting in front of a computer. The computer does all the work. Like, well, you don't understand that, yes, the computer will do all the work, but only if you set things up right, or only if you do it right. And if you don't do it right and you have to fix something, it can take hours, days to do it right, to sit down and make sure that you're going to fix something properly. Now, obviously, in Brooke's case, it won't take hours or days. But I would encourage Brooke, the first thing you do is, since you downloaded a new theme, before you go and activate the theme, all themes come packaged with the documentation. Sit down and learn the documentation, because it's going to walk you through how that theme sets up everything. And yes, it might mean that you have to go back and make some changes to your original. You might not be able to use portfolios in the way that you were comfortable using them before, but there's probably a way for them to handle your galleries and things like that. And if there's not, usually there's a plugin or some other extension that you can get to implement that part of the technology. And of course, Brooke, I will help you through that. You're my sister-in-law. And if you're not my sister-in-law and you still want my help on something, become a patron, because that's why the patrons are there. So check that out in the video description below, because patrons get unrestricted access to me, and I will help you through whatever it is you might be need help with, as well as you will help support the show. Come on, people. Patrons will keep this thing going, and it'll keep it fun and exciting, and it'll keep me focused where the focus needs to be, which is on you guys. So have a wonderful day and another wonderful Thursday. It's just another day in the IT life, and stay tuned. I got a couple great videos coming up for you today. I'll see you later.